break the cam in on the dyno, which means a few more steps in the assembly process also. Lightweight springs so that it doesn't damage the cam. Run it for about 30 minutes, shut it down, change to the real springs, and then go on with your dyno test. Whereas if we do this prior to motor assembly, it's already broke in. It only takes about 25 minutes here. Saves about an hour.
Saves about an hour each time you do it?
Each motor assembly.
Okay, take me through the process. Let's see how it's done.
It's real basic. Just uses a electric motor to run the cam. Has a full valve train in it. The new cam and lifter set's installed. Heat up the oil, put the cover on, turn on the oil pump, and run it.
Okay, cap her up and run one.
You know, Chris, I'm amazed that these testing devices continue to get not only more effective, but more efficient. An hour is a lot of time to save.
You bet, and that's only one of several processes that Paul oversees that are similar, checking other engine components. So by the time they get a fully assembled motor into the dynamometer room, it's really ready to run. And they do hate to break motors in there.
Oh, that can get expensive, can it? More to come here on NASCAR Garage. Stay with us.
If you have questions or comments, write us at NASCAR Garage, care of TNN Viewer Services, 2806 Opryland Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37214. And be sure to visit NASCAR Garage online at NASCAR.com.
For full race reports, the latest news, statistics, photos, and much more, nothing beats NASCAR Winston Cup Scene, the nation's largest auto racing weekly. Subscribe today at 1-800-883-7323.
NASCAR driver Jeff Burton goes head-to-head with everyday driver Eileen.
My car has a 750 horsepower high-compression engine.
My car has an engine.
I can cruise all afternoon at 180 miles per hour.
I'll stick to 55, thanks.
I start my engine with a powerful Exide NASCAR Select battery.
Me too. Thanks.
The Exide NASCAR Select battery. It's not just for race cars.
Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you!
To keep your car rocking, protect your engine with Havoline Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
Move it! They're catching us!
There's a lot more to working in AutoZone than looking up parts or ringing up sales. And it has to do with taking pride in taking care of customers. Like testing an old part before selling a new one. Or simply having what they need when they need it. In other words, it's about taking care of people who take care of cars. And that's what we do best at AutoZone.
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough texture top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
This week on Trucks, Mel and Stacy will get the suspension on Wicked Willie's ready for the trail. In the rear, it'll be a high-pinion 9-inch Ford, while a Dana 44 leads the way in the front. After that, they'll take a look at a rare bow tie, the 57 Cameo. Then it's time to show you how to build a sturdy set of sawhorses for your shop. Trucks, today at 5 on TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back. Chris, earlier when you were with Paul Flory and Morgan McClure, we talked about it a little bit too, as you guys did the hour that's saved by breaking in a set of lifters to their camshaft. But I would imagine over the course of the day, there's other places that they save time with that.
Well, sure, because while the break-in room is working on a new set of lifters and cams or whatever, the dyno can be doing a race motor test, so there's a gain there. Secondly, 25 minutes or so to run in the set. then it goes into the motor. You don't have to do that spring change. That's the hour we talked about. And occasionally, a bad cam or lifter will come through the system. That can be found in the break-in room. And in the dyno room, that saves many thousands of dollars. Over the course of a season, the whole process is worth its weight in gold.
Like Kodak gold?
Oh, you're quick.
Don't let the hair fool you.
Come back and see us again next time on NASCAR Garage.
Trucks, next on TNN Motorsports.
Get into the zone.
Kick Action Friday.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Turning up the heat.
Thrill Zone Friday.
So real you can feel it.
Thrill Zone Friday.
War on wheels.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Chewing up the competition.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Adrenaline pumping, bone crunching.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Action that never stops. The battle you can't miss. Thrill Zone Friday on TNN.
As darkness envelops the land, the scourge of the earth walk among us. And as the day of reckoning nears, so do the knights, the slayers, the saviors, brought here to punish those who go unforgiven.
WWF Unforgiven, Sunday, September 26th, presented live by Magic the Gathering Trading Cards, only on pay-per-view.
Watch, or you'll be unforgiven on Cox pay-per-view.
The stealth bomber of primetime, says Entertainment Weekly. When a crime is committed against the U.S. government, the Judge Advocate General Corps flies into action. JAG has an edge. JAG takes off 5 nights a week. Weeknights at 7, 6 Central on USA.
Brought to you by Old Kent Mortgage. We have great rates. Good credit or bad credit, call Old Kent Mortgage Company.
Today on Trucks, everybody wants more horsepower. So we'll take you step by step through the pursuit of 450 horses as we build up a 383 stroker. After that, we'll take you for a rare ride down memory lane in a 1946 Hudson pickup. Then it's back to the shop to finish up our 3-week series on Paint Tech. That's all today on Trucks.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being with us for today's show. You know, the history of the do-it-yourselfer was born from the ever-increasing need for speed and performance. Whether you're running down the strip or blazing a trail off-road, everybody wants more power.
The problem is there's so many ways to build an engine. You can go for high horsepower or you can go for high torque. Concentrate on the bottom end or the top end. So the first thing you need to decide is what your application is going to be. And whether it's going to be used off-road or on the street, what kind of transmission you're going to use, and of course the real biggie, how much money you're going to spend.
Yeah, you know what they say, you can go as fast as your checkbook will let you. Now the goal for our rebuild is to have about 450 horse on pump gas that we can drive every day without spending a whole lot more than $3 grand. So we're going to take you through the buildup of a 383 stroker, throwing in some high-budget screamer tips and some low-budget beater tips while we're at it.
Now, we got the short block for our 383 from Groom's Engines in Nashville, Tennessee for about $1,300 bucks. Now, they start with a seasoned 4-bolt main block, then they clean it, magnaflux it, and align hone it so the crank and bearings are where they need to be. Then they drop in a brand new 400 crank and standard 5.7 rods.
Up on top, the block is square decked to give you a good seal for your head gaskets. That ensures consistent pressure ratio and balanced power from cylinder to cylinder. The cylinders have also been diamond honed and cleaned. The reason this is important is because dirty bores not only tear up rings, but they can also be a major factor in premature bearing failure.
Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when building an engine is they spend all their money on visual go-fast goodies like intakes, carburetors, and fancy valve covers. Now, granted, those are important, but you've got to have a good set of pistons and rings. So we had grooms install these Ross racing pistons and these total seal gapless rings. Now, these pistons are forged 40-over flat tops that give you all the benefits of Ross's extensive racing history without putting you entirely in the poorhouse. Now, just by putting in these gapless rings can grab you about 20 more horsepower. And that's possible because of this unique two-piece second ring that features a slant gap. These two rings work together to virtually eliminate any kind of blow-by or cylinder leak down.
While Stace was filling you in on the pistons and rings, I went ahead and bolted on the oil pump. Now, a common misconception is that you need a high-volume pump for any kind of performance application. Problem is, unless you're running a larger capacity pan, a high-volume pump can run it bone dry. Bottom line, a stock pump is plenty for a hot street motor. Also keep in mind, if you're going to reuse an old pump, replace the nylon sleeve for the drive shaft.
Now we come to a potential area of major screw-ups, and that's picking the wrong camshaft. We're going to go with Edelbrock's Performer RPM because it's designed to work with their heads and intake, and will give us the lift and duration that we're after. Now remember, a motor that makes its power at 6,000 RPM will take a much different cam than one that will make power, say, at 4,500. Bottom line is, bigger cam does not necessarily mean more performance. Do your research. Now, when you insert the cam, make sure that you generously coat it with the supplied cam lube, and then slowly slide it in, making sure you don't nick any of the bearing surfaces.
A lot of you guys are probably thinking $1,300 is a lot of money to spend for a short block. But when you consider you can drop as much as $1,000 on the machine work alone, then still have to buy all the parts and assemble it, it's not hard to figure out. It really is the best way to go. Now that we have the camshaft in place, it's time to install the timing chain. Before you can get the chain on, you need to make sure your first cylinder is at top dead center. Then you can slide your crank sprocket on, and the timing mark should point straight up. We're using the 0 for a standard straight-up timing. Now you can set the cam sprocket in place and line up your timing marks. Once they're lined up, pop off the sprocket and put on the chain. Make sure to use Loctite when you bolt everything down.
Now, without a doubt, the key to any kind of real performance is a good set of heads. So if you're going to spend some money, this is where to do it. Now, these aluminum Edelbrock heads feature the big 202 intake valves, the 160 exhaust valves that have the undercut stems for better flow. Now, these are fully dressed with springs and retainers, as well as screw-in studs and guide plates, and we'll talk about those later on. You ready for these?
Ready.
Now, it's important when you bolt the heads on that you follow the torque sequence in 30-pound increments, starting in the center and moving outward in a cross pattern.
Well, Project 383 Stroker's starting to look like a motor. After the break, we'll continue our quest for 450 horse on pumped gas.
Later on Trucks, we'll take you for a ride in a pickup that most people don't even know existed. But before we do, we'll finish up our pursuit of 450 horses on pumped gas as Project 383 Stroker continues.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500, an all-new Quad Master 500. The choice is yours. Buy a selected Quad Runner and get a super winch for just $49.95 and great financing.
It must rain 9 to 10 inches for every Laura Ashley peony to bloom. It must be perpetually misty for hedgerows to turn true green. It must be cloudy and damp for a garden rose to flourish. Aren't you glad you don't have to live in England to enjoy the countryside? Laura Ashley Home, now only as far away as Lowe's.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, banging your knuckles trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top on our Extra Guard filter for easy gripping and installing. Only Fram has it.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
Fram oil filters. Pay a little more now or pay a lot later.
What? They gave our room away?
Not what you want to hear. Then Super 8's where you want to stay, where VIP members get guaranteed rooms and 10% off. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
If you love performance, you're gonna love this. The legendary Split Fire spark plugs at the lowest price ever, only $2.99. And Split Fire Triple Platinum spark plugs, just $4.99. Hey, what are you waiting for? Split Fire, because performance is everything.
Welcome back to the shop. If you're just tuning in, we've already put a cam and headers on our short block, and now we're ready to button up the bottom end. But before we do, we need to make sure everything's coated real good in oil. Then we can put on this polished aluminum pan from Mr. Gasket that not only looks cool, but is going to help our oil run cooler as well.
For rocker arms, we're going to use Airson roller rockers for a couple of reasons. First of all, with a 1.6 ratio, they'll really make the cam come alive. Also, because of their roller-type design, they greatly reduce friction and heat in the valve train. All this adds up to about 20 more horsepower.
Of course, before Stace can put the rockers on, I need to install the lifters. First thing you need to do is lube them up real good, then you can just drop them right into the bore. Now, Edelbrock says you shouldn't pump their lifters with oil before you install them, or you could bend the push rods the first time you put fire to the motor. Believe me, you definitely don't want that.
You about done with those push rods, Mel?
Ready to go.
All right. Now it's time for the rocker arms. But before we put them on, I want to explain the reasoning behind screw-in studs and guide plates. Now, a high-lift cam and stiffer springs can actually pull out a stock pressed-in stud. A screw-in stud will prevent that. The guide plate, that keeps the push rod from slopping around at high RPM. With the rocker in place and the #1 cylinder at top dead center, slowly turn the nut until you feel a slight drag on the push rod. Then go an extra quarter turn. Now lock down the nut. Then do the same thing for the exhaust valve. After that, you can do the rest of your valves just by turning the crank and following the firing order.
This dual-plane air gap intake is going to give us great low RPM response, but it'll also pull all the way up to 6,500 RPM. Keep in mind, it's always a good idea to use a little adhesive to help hold your side gaskets in place. Also, if you use the stock in gaskets, make sure you apply a big dab of sealant on both corners. In our case, since we're going into aluminum heads, we need to use anti-seize on the bolts to keep from destroying the threads. Don't forget to use the proper sequence when you torque it down.
While Mel's finishing up the intake, let me show you the distributor we're going to use. That's a Mallory Unilight that uses this little light module to fire your plugs with the speed and accuracy of light. The best part is, once you have this little rascal in, you never have to mess with it again. Now, we're using a mechanical advance because this cam only produces 8 inches of vacuum. Now, with your motor at top dead center, slide the distributor in until it seats all the way into the oil pump. Then put on your cap and mark your #1 plug.
I've already put a vibration dampener on Project 383 stroker, but it's also going to need a water and fuel pump. We'll continue with the Performer series that'll keep our engine running cooler while making sure it gets plenty to drink as well.
Now, I know you're thinking we forgot about the carburetor, but come on, we wouldn't do that. Now, this 750 Performer should give us all the flow that we need. The only trick to bolting one of these down is make sure that you don't over-tighten the nuts or you could crack the housing. Of course, the crowning jewel to our engine is this angry mega scoop by B&M, nestled between classic fin valve covers.
Now that our motor can suck it in, it needs to be able to blow it out. There you go, man.
All right.
That's where these Sanderson block hugger headers come in. They have thicker flanges to prevent warping, along with the best investment you can put on a set of headers, and that's jet hot coating that won't burn off. We're also going to run these copper seal gaskets from Mr. Gasket that'll prevent leakage.
And if you think this is cool, wait till you see the transmission that goes behind it. And you have to wait for another show for that. Stay with us. Trucks will be right back after this.
Later in the show, we'll finish up our 3-week series on paint tech. But up first, it's time for a ride in a 46 Hudson. The pickup, that is.
What's all that?
I'm donating some old things.
Are those my Red Wings?
Well, you've had those forever. Besides, you have a new pair.
Thanks. No problem.
There's a lot more to working in AutoZone than looking up parts or ringing up sales. And it has to do with taking pride in taking care of customers. Like testing an old part before selling a new one. Or simply having what they need when they need it. In other words, it's about taking care of people who take care of cars. And that's what we do best at AutoZone.
TNN's opening up another can of 4-packs and Friday. Will Zone Friday. Get your ticket first for the Friday night Crunch-A-Rama on ECW Wrestling. There's more body slamming, head wedging, knuckle twisting, pulse pumping, bone crunching, eye crunching. Will Zone Friday. Action so real, you can feel it. ECW Wrestling, Friday at 8, 7 Central, part of Thrill Zone Friday. Will Zone Friday on TNN.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, you've seen plenty of Ford, Chevy, and Dodge pickups rolling down the road. But this is probably a first for you. The 1946 Hudson pickup. By the way, you can put your checkbook away, because this is owned by Paul Miner of Franklin, Tennessee, and he's not selling.
This old classic is pretty close to what it looked like when it rolled off the assembly line back in '46, except for a few accessories like this toolbox that has a little bit more finish than the plate metal ones you see today. Now, the original Hudson came with a metal bed, but as you can see, they've laid down wood planks to capture that vintage look.
Some of the other options you could get from the dealership were chrome turn signals, wraparound bumpers, and fog lights. And let's face it, you just don't see a classic front end like this anymore. And speaking of good looks, the lines on this thing look like it's been chopped and channeled, but it hasn't. That's exactly the way it came from the factory.
A lot of you guys probably figured the forward tilting hood was reserved for sports cars like the Vet and T-Bird in the 50s, but Hudson was way ahead of that game. Now, you old NASCAR fans will no doubt remember this power plant. It's the Hudson Hornet Straight 6 that dominated what's now the Winston Cup Series in the early 50s.
308 cubes, and with the twin carburetors, the twin H-power, it'll go about 160 horsepower, which a lot of horses back in those days. But it had a lot of torque, won a lot of races, especially on the quarter-mile ovals, and more than once it beat out the Rocket 88 Olds V8.
Now, everybody's familiar with the late model truck interior. A lot of plastic, a lot of vinyl. But years ago, it was mostly chrome, brass, and metal, all designed to follow a common theme. Now, this is a cool option, the early beginnings of a cup holder, strategically located right close to your girlfriend's legs. Perfect for the drive-in. Now, power steering, that wasn't an option in '46, so Hudson took care of that with this huge steering wheel and this spinner knob.
Of course, this old Hudson is mostly metal, which means a whole lot more weight, doesn't handle quite as well as the trucks we drive today, but if spinning heads is what you're after, the 46 Hudson is definitely what you want.
Naturally, I'm very proud of it, you know, and I enjoy showing it off. Now, if I could call back in my teens, I'd be out Saturday night cruising in this thing. It turns the girls' heads, I'll tell you. Once they get a look at me, though, they look the other way.
I'll tell you what, Mel, all this driving around has made me a little hungry.
Yeah, me too. Let's go hit the Piggly Wiggly, man.
That sounds good to me.
Don't go away. We got more trucks for you after we eat.
Up next, we'll show you how to lay down the final coat in Paint Tech. And Stacy has this week's quick tip for you.
Most gas additives don't stand up to 104 Plus Octane Boost. Octane Boost eliminates hesitation and increases horsepower on the street and off the road. 104 Plus Octane Boost kicks gas. Guaranteed. Take no prisoners. 104 Plus Octane Boost.
We're here with Ken Schrader. Tough day for your truck. I guess NASCAR truck racing takes a thick skin.
No, just a thick bed liner.
New Pendoliner SR Pro. It protects better than any other bed liner because it's the thickest bed liner you can buy.
Hey, look! This is where I dropped my tranny.
Get better protection for your truck from new Pendoliner SR Pro, officially licensed bed liner of NASCAR trucks. Get a free Craftsman toolbox with a Pendoliner SR Pro. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Get into the zone.
Kick Action Friday.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Turning up the heat.
Thrill Zone Friday.
So real you can feel it.
Thrill Zone Friday.
War on wheels.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Chewing up the competition.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Adrenaline pumping, bone crunching.
Thrill Zone Friday.
Action that never stops. The battle you can't miss. Thrill Zone Friday on TNN.
Thanks for staying with us, everybody. Now, the last couple of weeks, we showed you how to strip and primer your project. This week, we're going to show you how to block sand it, shoot on some color, and buff it out to a final high-gloss finish.
Like we said before, block sanding is the key to a show-quality paint job. Now, if you were with us last week, you saw us lay down the primer coat on our hood, which means it's had plenty of time to dry, and we can start wet sanding. The reason you need to use water is because it lubricates the paper and prevents it from clogging, which allows it to cut better. Use a block on flat surfaces, but around corners you need to use your fingers. Remember, if you can feel it, you'll be able to see it in the final coat.
Now that the surface is ready, it's time for the base coat. This makes everything one color. This is important when using a candy pearl like the one we got from House of Colors, because the base coat reflects up through the final color. The second stage is the color coat. Now, this is where gun technique is critical. Too dry equals an orange peel effect, and too wet equals runs. And if you run a pearl or a metallic, you have to reshoot it. A solid color can be sanded out, so it's much more forgiving for the novice. Finally, the third stage is your clear coat. You need to be real careful here because it's hard to see, which makes it easy to run. But there's good news. This stage can be sanded and buffed out.
This next step won't work unless you allow proper drying time, so we're going to go ahead and show you how to color sand on the hood of Project Sport Sierra. This step allows you to get rid of any runs or imperfections that somehow always seem to find their way into your final coat. Once again, using water and a very fine grit sandpaper, cut out any imperfections that you can see and feel.
Now, some of you are probably thinking, man, they totally ruined that paint job. But don't worry, the shine is there. We just have to go get it. We're going to use this 3M rubbing compound and a wool buff. Do small areas at a time, applying medium pressure at first and then lightening up. Make sure you use a low speed or you'll burn the paint. And work it until you see the gloss appear. Hit it with a high-quality wax, and you're done.
Well, over the past 3 weeks, we've shown you just a few of the numerous tips that are involved in laying down a signature paint job. Keep in mind, there's always variables, but one thing remains constant. Practice makes perfect.
have.
Now, everybody's familiar with the benefits of sandblasting. Whether you use a cabinet like this or a portable unit, a lot of people don't realize that if you use the wrong media, you can mess up your part. Now, some of the media that's available is silicon carbide, which is the most aggressive. It's great for removing rust or etching glass. Then you have aluminum oxide, which is milder, but it lasts longer. And then for softer metals, you've got glass beads. So the tip here is to leave the sand at the beach and use the right media.
In 1965, the combination of Bill Maverick Golden, a 426 Hemi, and a Dodge A100 pickup known as the Little Red Wagon introduced the world to wheel standing.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500, an all-new Quad Master 500. The choice is yours.
Buy a selected Quad Runner and get a super winch for just $49.95 and great financing.
It must rain 9 to 10 inches for every Laura Ashley peony to bloom. It must be perpetually misty for hedgerows to turn true green. It must be cloudy and damp for garden rose to flourish. Aren't you glad you don't have to live in England to enjoy the countryside? Laura Ashley Home, now only as far away as Lowe's.
Turn your truck bed from ordinary to extraordinary with Herculiner, the first do-it-yourself brush-on bed liner that protects your truck bed with a tough, textured, high-quality surface.
It's tough, it looks great, and I did it myself.
It's easy to apply and comes with everything you'll need for under $100.
I got spray-on quality for a third of the price.
Don't spend hundreds of dollars more on plastic or spray-on liners. Do it yourself with Herculiner for only $99.99.
Herculiner, you've got to see it to believe it.
Herculiner is available at these fine retailers.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
What? They gave our room away?
Not what you want to hear. Then Super 8's where you want to stay, where VIP members get guaranteed rooms and 10% off. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
Hunting for a show that will help you bag a 10-point buck? Well, you're on the right trail. Now all you have to do is take aim on the Buckmasters. Tonight at 6:30 Eastern and Pacific on TNN Outdoors.
And now truck gear, parts, tools, and equipment for pickups and sport utilities.
The first thing we want to show you today is perfect for anyone who doesn't need the storage space of a big box in the back of their pickup, or maybe even needs a little extra space. Either way, this lockable tail box by Carlson Products is a great way to go. It stores and displays all your tools and emergency equipment, or basically any item you can imagine for work or play. It's made of aluminum diamond plate to support heavy loads, and all you need to install it is a drill. The tail box comes in black powder coat or polished aluminum and can be purchased through Steel Horse Automotive for about $250.
Now, nothing in the cab of your truck makes quite the statement that a cool steering wheel does. And since you have your hands all over it all the time, it helps if it's comfortable. Well, Grant has hit the best of both worlds with their Signature Series steering wheels. They're available in 3 or 4 spoke, mahogany or leather, and this banjo style is very cool. And because they make so many different models, you can afford a Grant wheel no matter what your budget. That's going to do it for truck gear. Here's a peek at next week's show.
Next week on Trucks, Mel and Stacy get the suspension on Wicked Willie's ready for the trail. In the rear, it'll be a high-pinion 9-inch Ford, while a Dana 44 leads the way in the front. After that, they'll take a look at a rare bow tie, the 57 Cameo. Then it's time to show you how to build a sturdy set of sawhorses for your shop. That's all next week on Trucks.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. We look forward to trucking with you again next week. Hey, Stace, I'll play a game of trucks for that motor, man.
You'll lose.
Well, let's find out.
Here we go.
All right, cheers.
First shot from the line here. Well, okay.
This is going to be like taking candy from a baby, man. Right there. Whoops.
For a VHS copy of today's show, call 1-800-981-7859. Show videos are just $9.95 plus shipping and handling.
T. Here comes T. That motor's going to be mine, man. It's going to go on big...
Call the Trucks Info line, 615-373-7005, for more information about the products used in today's show. 615-373-7005.
Okay, a little granny-style action, man, from over here. A little Rick Berry from off-center. Got it. Nothing but air, man.
Trucks is an RTM production.
Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World, next on TNN Outdoors. Tonight on TNN Outdoors, the fishing is always good when you're watching the best. Champion fisherman Hank Parker has tips not only for the experienced angler, but for the entire family, from locations all over the country. So come on along. It's America's favorite family outing, Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine. Tonight at 6 Eastern and Pacific on the home of the experts, TNN Outdoors.
Here at Kawasaki, we want to take a moment to recognize the risk takers. Those who live on the edge. Those brave souls who buy another brand of ATV.
Unit 1, we got him.
Now that takes guts. Don't settle for anything less than the comfort, reliability, and engineering of a Kawasaki ATV.
Available at Casey Cycle City, J. Clyde Morris Boulevard, Newport News.
Join us as Disney on Ice celebrates 75 years of Disney magic, starring Mickey and all your favorite Disney friends. And for the first time ever, moments from Mulan, A Bug's Life, and The Lion King. Cox Cable wants all kids to save $2.50 on tickets to the Saturday, October 9th, 11 a.m. performance. Just show a copy of your current Cox Cable bill for your savings. Experience the biggest extravaganza ever on ice at Disney on Ice. Join the celebration at Hampton Coliseum, October 6th through 10th.
TNN Outdoors. Hi, I'm Tracy Bird here at Daystar Farms in Franklin, Tennessee. We're bringing you another tremendous night of outdoor action with the experts. We have all kinds of adventure planned tonight. Quail hunts, bear hunts, elk hunts, tournament fishing, and big mean bulls thrown in the mix. Why, if we can't excite you tonight, then frankly nothing can. Right now, let's get it all started with an exciting adventure from the gang at Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World. It's coming up next.
Pioneering great adventures around the globe. Bass Pro Shops proudly presents Outdoor World. Join us as we team with America's leading sportsmen to encounter some of the finest hunting and fishing in the world. Along the way, we'll discover nature and take time to examine the importance of conservation. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy some time away as Bass Pro Shops presents Outdoor World. Brought to you by Tracker, America's best-selling fishing boats. This week, it's a whitetail odyssey as the redhead protein travels across North America in search of trophy racks. Then, another world record for Jim Ryan. Monster bighorns of the Arizona Canyon Country. Adventure you won't want to miss on Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World.
Last year, API Tree Stands won Bow Hunting World's Reader's Choice Award. And here are two reasons that API stands are the first choice of hunters across America. The Baby Grand fixed position stand and the Grand Slam climber. More room, more cushion, armrest, footrest, all covered in baby soft brushed cotton twill. I'm Paul Meeks, president of API, If comfort makes you hunt better, our stands will make you a better hunter.
I'm Dale Earnhardt. When I'm not racing, I'm usually hunting. And Bass Pro Shops is the place I shop.
Be sure to visit our new Charlotte Superstore, now open at the brand new Concord Mills, the shopping and entertainment destination of the Carolinas.
And Johnny Morris and his folks always give me fast, friendly service.
Get your free redhead hunting catalog. Call 1-800-BASS-PRO now.
We're talking rugged, we're talking fun. You ride the best and the job gets done. Polaris ATVs are made in the USA. We're talking tough.
Buy a new Polaris ATV now and get a Remington rifle or shotgun. Or choose $250 towards Polaris clothing and accessories. See your Polaris dealer for details.
If you're looking for the best place for hunting, your search is over. Bill Jordan will put you on the right trail with an informative half hour of hunting tips and strategies. It's Bill Jordan's Real Tree Outdoors, tonight at 7 Eastern and Pacific on TNN Outdoors.
The Redhead Pro Team stalks white-tailed deer all across North America. From the Mexican desert to the cornfields of the Midwest. Today, we join Bob Folkrod, Larry Weissel, and Jim Ryan on 3 white-tailed trophy adventures as different as the country they're hunting.
It's almost like a gully.
Hunting East Texas, Bob Folkrod enjoys a rare commodity in the Lone Star State, a tree stand. Here in the Post Oak country, there are more trees and a better opportunity for classic bow hunting than in the more open mesquite country farther south. Bob's stand overlooks a well-traveled trail, and he's hopeful that a buck he's seen in the area may show up again this morning. The wind direction isn't exactly right, but getting down to relocate a stand during prime hunting time is never a wise move.
Oh, I gotta get him before that wheel gets over there.
The buck is a shooter, but he's headed right for Bob's scent trail. Bob knows he has to shoot soon. When the buck crosses his scent at this range, it's all over.
He's hurt. 4 o'clock, 2 hours before it gets light, before it gets dark. It's supposed to be warm in Texas.
Bob waits, allowing the arrow time to do the job. Most archery experts recommend waiting an hour before you leave the stand. Now for some tracking.
Look at that. Is that nice? Oh.
A fine archery trophy.
spaces on
Now, let's jump south of the border where Jim and Angie Ryan have taken on a very tough assignment, stalking a Coues deer in the wild mountains of the state of Sonora. There are plenty of bucks, and Jim has arrived in prime time with the rut in full swing. It would be much easier to take a stand and let the deer come to him. But Jim likes the challenge of meeting the deer on foot. There are plenty of deer here, and Jim is convinced he can make a successful stalk. But not with this one. Or this one. Man, these bucks are as nervous as rabbits at a coyote convention. Jim finally decides he'll leave our cameraman behind in order to get within range. Inside a stand of brush, Jim finally finds a buck that makes a mistake. He's made the shot. Was it a good hit? Tracking is tough on this dry, stony ground. Jim looks for broken branches, displaced stones, and the occasional spot of blood to guide him to his quarry. And there he is, one of the world's toughest hunts, outsmarting a whitetail on the ground and on the move. This one is a trophy to remember. Now, let's jump back to the Midwest, where redhead pro Larry Weissel will try to bag a farm country monster with a muzzle loader. The fertile soil of Iowa offers some of the biggest deer in the nation, thanks to abundant croplands and good management. And these deer are huge, both in rack and body size. Larry has joined Steve Shoup of J&S Outfitters for a hunt in the south-central part of the state. Larry chooses to set up on the ground in a hardwood bottom within sight of a field of winter wheat. He hopes the food plot will pull a buck to within the 100-yard effective range of his .50 caliber. With the breeze right and with the patience to sit still, ground stands can be effective. A handy sapling forms a steady rest for Larry's shot. Both bucks in the field are trophy class. Larry studies them to decide which one he likes best. Looks like this buck will take a bit of tracking, but hopefully we'll find him before dark.
I think I got him. I think so, Steve. Looked like I hit him right here.
Thanks to good management, both north and south of the border, whitetail hunting is in its golden age all across North America these days. And with increasing numbers of landowners and game agencies managing for trophy bucks, the future for big racks like those collected by our hunters today looks great.
There he is right there. Oh, man. Here's the thing. Be sure he's right there. Wow. Is that the split brown? Here? Right here. He is down. He is down. What do you think? Is that him?
Congratulations.
Oh, man, Steve. Look at that thing. Golly. He is just... Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14.
For information on trophy bucks in Iowa, call Steve Shoup at J&S Trophy Hunts at 660-945-3736. For information on Coues hunting in Mexico, call Al Campo Hunting Adventures at 800-443-6753. For more information on hunting big bucks in Texas, call Rocket T Outfitters at 1-800-203-2950. Coming up, another world record for Jim Ryan, an extreme sheep hunt in Arizona, next.
That is one rough riding boat you got there.
Hey, buddy. Don't go out there. The waves are brutal.
I know. I'm just getting in.
Other boats too rough? Introducing the all-new Tracker Protein boats, featuring Tracker's Revolution hull. It rides so smooth, it's guaranteed. For details and a free test drive video, call now.
Meet the inspiration behind the truck. We thought of them when we gave it a more powerful V8 than any top-selling Ford or Dodge pickup. We thought of them when we gave it a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram. Maybe that's why Motor Trend thought of us. The new Chevy Silverado. It's the truck. The Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
Realtree Camo has evolved to the next level of concealment design. Introducing new Realtree Extra Gray. How many hunters in Realtree Extra Gray can you find? There are 4 hunters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Realtree Extra, America's most versatile camo pattern.
The desert bighorn was nearly extinct shortly after the turn of the century, pushed to the brink by market hunters supplying meat to early mining and railroad camps. But today, thanks to decades of enlightened management, much of it financed by recreational hunters, the bighorns are back throughout much of their natural range. Some 25,000 are found in the dry reaches of the southern Rockies. Today, we join Redhead pros Jim Ryan and Larry Weissoon as Jim recalls 2 amazing hunts for desert bighorns, both resulting in Pope and Young trophies.
Jim, I've worked with desert bighorn sheep as a biologist in the past, never have had the opportunity to really hunt them. But I know that you've gone out with a bow and you've hunted desert bighorns, and to me that's one of the top sheep animals there is. But you took a world record, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, I started out to kill the Grand Slam of sheep. And I had all of them but the desert bighorn, so I couldn't draw a tag, so I ended up buying a tag from California. The terrain out there it's fairly rugged, even though the elevation's not so high, but it's real rocky terrain. Noisy. You can't hardly walk in that stuff without just making all kind of noise. And coming down those steep grades, you know, if there's a sheep on the other mountain range and you try to come down, he's going to hear you. You know, you just can't hide that.
The trick in this sparse cover is to see the ram before he sees you, and then to figure a path that will allow you to stalk into range. This one's a great trophy, probably approaching 12 years old, almost at the end of his natural lifespan.
It's to get in on a really big ram like that and get close enough to shoot it with a bow. I was just lucky to hold that sight on that ram. I was shaking so bad. Got in like 55 yards from him. He was bedded down and phased up over this rock and got a 50-yard shot at him. And he turned out to be a world record.
The wild sheep sport true horns, which are not shed annually like the antlers of deer. The ever-growing curl of these massive structures clearly mark the age and health of the adult rams.
Well, I really had the fever then, you know. I'd killed the number one. He's still the state record in California. But I killed a really big sheep with my bow. So the next year, I got a tag for Arizona.
Arizona has the largest population of desert bighorns in the nation, with some 8,000 animals. That's double the number that were found there in 1984, when an intensive habitat management program and transplanting effort got underway by the Arizona Fish and Wildlife Department. A major portion of the financing for the projects came from auctioning off hunts through a hunter-sponsored conservation group, the Foundation for North American Wild Sheep. But Arizona's desert bighorn hunts are also available for any hunter lucky enough to be selected in the annual computerized drawing. 100 permits are issued each year, with the odds about 75 to 1. Jim's hunt took place in the Aravaipa Canyon, some of Arizona's best sheep habitat, about 100 miles southeast of Phoenix. The sheep are found here in the rugged ravines that edge the Aravaipa River. Though Jim knows where the sheep are, getting within bow range is no easy matter.
Aravaipa wouldn't be real tough to hunt if it wasn't for that canyon. But boy, I tell you, that canyon puts a whole new light on things. You're on one side of that canyon and see a ram on the other side, you know, you're a day away from that ram. Every time you get down there, well, what we ended up doing is once we'd spot one on the other side of the canyon, we'd end up going over there the next day. Sometimes the ram would be back where we was at the day before. And I ended up hunting 16 days. Saw some really nice sheep. And I'd watched this one ram several days while I was looking for other sheep, another ram bigger than it was. And we'd go every day and check on this ram and find him and make sure he was still in the area. And finally, you know, I'd stayed out there until I was just wore out and the whole crew was wore out. And I decided I probably should try to take this ram. And so we set up and watched him 2 days before he finally decided to move out of that area. And that's one secret with the hunting with the bow on the sheep. If you feel like a ram's in an area where you can't get within 50 or 60 yards of it without him seeing you, you need to back off and just wait. Get in an area where you can slip around and glass him and keep track on him, and wait till he moves in an area that you feel like you're 100% that you can get close enough for a shot with that bow. And so that's what we did on this ram. And the third morning, this ram had moved out, and he was moving into an area down along the rim on that canyon. And once he got to where he was in a position where he couldn't see us come off the hill and get down in below him, boy, you know, my old heart started pounding so fast. I could feel my blood pressure going up, and you know, we just charged off. Me and my younger son Chris, we charged off and headed for that ram. And stayed in tight on the canyon where he couldn't see us until we just wading the creek down through there. You know, I was afraid he would hear us, but the creek was kind of making some noise. But we waded that creek down through there. And when we came out, you know, to where we could see, he was right there. And the first thing I did, I already had my rangefinder out. First thing I did was put the rangefinder on him, and he was 85 yards. And shooting up like that, the arrow doesn't drop as fast. So I ended up using my 65-yard pin. I took 20 yards off of it, which was perfect. It ended up being perfect. And had I been shooting down, I probably took more than that off of it, because the arrow doesn't drop as much when you're shooting down as it does when you're shooting up. So I made the first shot on this ram. Boy, I hit exactly where I was looking at, right in that big horn. And I thought, oh my goodness, you know. And we had my son out there, he was videoing it. And first thing that hit my mind was, turn that camera off. I've made a shot like this on camera. Well, you know, I recovered pretty quick and got another arrow in there, and the ram had moved off a little bit. And I just held the same pin on him that I'd held on him before. And the ram just started walking just as I was getting ready to shoot, so I just pulled out in front of him a little bit, let the arrow go, and it was perfect. He just made a perfect shot, and the ram, you know, he comes charging off, goes charging off, and goes down, and then he starts sliding, and there's this huge cliff here, and I keep thinking, oh gosh, don't come over that cliff, don't come over that cliff. You know, I was afraid he'd break those horns. And sure enough, he slid down there and fell 200 feet off that cliff. Luckily, when he hit, you know, he hit in a tree there, and kept all the weight off of those horns when he really hit. And then it turned out to be, it beat the the ram I'd killed the year before. So I ended up with number 1 and number 2 in Pope and Young the same year.
This ram becomes a trophy for Jim, but he leaves behind many offspring and improved range funded by Ryan and other hunters, supporting this highly successful conservation effort. Thanks to the generosity of sportsmen, the future looks bright for this unique strain of wild sheep. For details on hunting Arizona's desert bighorns, call 602-942-3000. Don't go away. The pro tip of the week is coming up.
It's the moment you've worked for all year, and you can't miss with hunting gear from Redhead.
Call now for the new Redhead Hunting Specialist Catalog by Bass Pro Shops. It's packed with thousands of products to help you succeed in the outdoors. Get your free Redhead Hunting Catalog. Call 1-800-BASS-PRO now.
Redhead, an outdoor tradition since 1856.
Let her go, Hank. Oh, Hank, I can't believe you missed something so big. That thing's like a floating dance floor. Now we're going to have to go all the way back in town and get another one. That's
The old man's new Terra Air Elite is so light, you'll have to hang on to it. And with over 4 square feet of camouflage footroom, you might be tempted to dance a jig on it.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. It won't work. It won't happen.
You know, you just can't have enough stuff for fishing. What if I told you there was a way to get free fishing stuff? You'd be interested, wouldn't you? Well, here's the credit card I use. It's got a really low rate, no annual fee, and best of all, every time I use it, I get free stuff from Bass Pro. That's right, I earn 1% back on every purchase that I can apply to anything from Bass Pro. And if I buy from Bass Pro Shops, I earn 2% back. Just imagine, your wife goes shopping, uses this card, and you get free stuff. Now, say she goes to a jewelry store. Well, then you get lots of free stuff. Now, think about it. Your wife's happy, you get to go fishing. Life is good. Look, you're going to use a credit card. You might as well use this card and get free stuff.
Call now and get a low introductory 3.9% APR on all purchases and balance transfers with no annual fee. After that, it's 9.99%. Call today.
What part of free don't you understand? Get the card and get free stuff.
Hunting for shows will help you bag a 10-point buck? Well, you're on the right trail. Now all you have to do is take aim on the Buckmasters. Tonight at 6:30 Eastern and Pacific on TNN Outdoors.
It's the pro tip of the week, helping you become a better outdoorsman. With Redhead Pro Hunting team member Jerry Martin and dog training expert Dan Marr at Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World in Springfield, Missouri.
Dan, I know you really believe in these Inotech electric collars. How do you get started using these?
You know, Jerry, anytime I put an electric collar on a dog, I make sure that dog thoroughly understands that command. In all of my videos, in fact, my most recent video called Electric Collars, I produced this video primarily because people think you just put the electric collar on and you start pushing the buttons. It doesn't do any good to do that. The dog has to thoroughly understand the command. Now, this particular collar is an Inotech electric collar. In my opinion, they're the makers of the finest electric training equipment in the world.
Dan, I also know that you started the National Hunting Dog Association. Tell me a little bit about that.
I started the National Hunting Dog Association in the fall of '98, and I started that for the everyday hunter that has 1 or 2 or 3 dogs in the backyard. They don't have time to run field trials across the United States. It's the ultimate hunting competition where the dog is scored, not judged, and the hunter is scored and not judged. The dog gets points for pointing birds and retrieving birds. The hunter, he gets points for shooting the birds and the least amount of time and the least amount of shells. It is the ultimate hunting competition for upland hunters with bird dogs. Hopefully they come to Branson, Missouri and qualify for the national championship. That's the ultimate goal.
It's got to be a ball.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Next week, Outdoor World co-host Jerry Martin heads south to Alabama after wall hanger bucks with a bow. Then, Kevin Van Dam takes on a hungry school of Texas largemouth, a feeding frenzy you won't want to miss. Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World, brought to you by Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. 1-800-TRACKER. Nikon, a better look at your world. American Airlines. Experience the ride. Bass Pro Shops. More outdoors for your money. 1-800-BASS-PRO. Realtree Hardwoods. America's most versatile camo pattern. Old Man Tree Stands. Quality and design that stands the test of time. Hunter's Specialties. For sportsmen, by sportsmen. Missouri, where the rivers run. Inotech. World-class training starts with world-class training products. API Tree Stands. America's leader in tree stand technology. And by Polaris ATVs. Ride the best. Products and equipment seen today can be found by calling 1-800-BASS-PRO or point your browser to www.basspro.com. Got something to say? Send us an email. Our address, tvshow@basspro.com. Thank you for watching Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World. We'll see you next week. And remember, we all live downstream.
Hank Parker Outdoors, next on TNN Outdoors. Real communication.
I don't rightly know what I said, but I'm sticking by it.
Real entertaining.
We get a trained puppy that washes the cups.
The Real McCoys, solving real problems, one episode at a time. Weekdays on TNN. Real clean.
Soap is beginning to itch me, Grandpa. It's about this.
A giant hole in the ground?
Don't you want your 8-5 beer?
Call me crazy, but I have a thing about drinking from the anus of another creature, okay?
Well then, go get the woman you love. Ants.
Can one ant save an entire colony and win over a beautiful princess? Find out on HBO and Cox Cable.
Hi, I'm John Parrish, Department Manager of Turf and Garden in Chesapeake, Virginia. Southern Bell products have been used successfully on home lawns, commercial sites, as well as golf courses for several years. So we're going to talk to some commercial applicators, possibly even some of your neighbors about their successes with Southern Bell. We'd like for you to stay tuned so you can find out how you can have the best year-round lawn as possible.
Watch Selecting Turf Grasses for Tidewater on HGTV, Cox Cable, Channel 27.
Once hovered on the brink of extinction. In the 1800s, the small California elk was almost completely wiped out by gold prospectors who hunted them and overran their habitat. By 1885, less than 30 of the original 500,000 remained. The herd was given complete protection, and now the population has recovered enough to permit limited harvest. Buckmaster's Whitetail Magazine is on a black powder hunt for Thule elk later tonight. Hey, but first, let's check in with Hank Parker.
This is TNN Outdoors.
What happened, big boy? Hey, odds are clean as miss. That's what you wanted, wasn't it? I guarantee you, there wasn't no crippled bird. That was a miss. You didn't come close hitting that thirsty. You didn't want to hit him, did you? You mean you want to kill him? We're going to be catching fish on Lake Berkeley up in the 12 and 15-pound range. Harold has guaranteed me. Look at the camera and tell me how many over 10 we're going to catch. I guarantee I was going to catch as many 6-pounders as turkeys he hit. Now we have to bring it up again. He promised you weren't going to do that. not real good with these things, but I love them. These are made by Nightingale, the #1 name as far as I'm concerned in game calls. I mean, premier. I met Harold, who is going to be our guest today, about 20 years ago, goose hunting. And I learned to appreciate real quick his ability at not only making game calls, but using them as well. But he is one great person. More than his game calling ability, he is really a quality individual, one of my dearest friends in the whole wide world, and I really look forward to spending some time with him. So today we're going to call some animals, and we're going to do a little bass fishing as well. So it's going to be a great show. I promise you it's going to be fun with my special guest, Harold Wayne Knight. Why'd you tell people I missed that turkey? I was going to tell them, leave them in suspense, and make them think I shot that turkey. Yeah. Well, you did shot at him. I did shot at him. I sure did. I did shot at him twice.
Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine. In our second decade, featuring the finest in outdoor family entertainment. This season, Hank's show is brought to you in part by AC Delco Voyager batteries. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. And by Kelly Tires. A good deal on a great tire.
The house needs painting, the grass needs mowing. Where's he at? He's gone fishing.
Lucky, Harold Wayne, I don't see any boats. I see some shad. Oh, what have you got, Hanky? A TV fish. You see how acrobatic he is? Oh, man. He likes that, Harold. Yeah, he's wild, ain't he? Oh, yeah. Want me loose. Let me loose. Let me loose. Some fish instead, ain't they? Who they look like. All right, stay. Well, I tell you, he's Nightingale game call product. Beat all I've ever seen. You can train a turkey with him. I mean, look, Harold thinks I'm not a great turkey hunter. That is close range, man. This is something. You know, Harold, he's just amazing. He can call a turkey up, and they load my shells. They take my shells and take them apart and take all the lead out of them, and then give me a hard time about missing the turkey. They think I don't know they took the lead out of my shell. But anyway, we're catching fish today. And we're catching these fish off these little points. Now, when you think of point fishing, you think about a definite main channel point to get out and throw a Carolina rig or throw a big crankbait. But a point doesn't necessarily have to be a very defined creek channel or a very defined point on a point of a cove or a main channel or a river channel. A point can be a very little subtle, just where two little pieces of land come together, even in the back of a bay. Here we're fishing under high water conditions. And a point is a natural place for those fish to migrate when the water starts to fall. Let me show you. Now, I'm not much of an artist here, but I'm going to draw this on this rock. If you look at a point where just, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm going to keep scratching here. You see just kind of how this makes a point. You got shallow water here and shallow water here, and all this land comes together and forms this little point that's got deeper water off the end of it. It's a natural migration point under falling water. I should say a natural migration location on falling water, and that's what we're doing. We found these fish that just migrated out, a little secondary point. You couldn't even really hardly recognize it as a point
unless you really look for it. But it's a natural place for those fish to migrate when the water's falling. And point on a whole one here, Wayne. There's some minnows on it. Got it?
There you. Yeah. Look at that.
Look at that acrobat.
Oh, he's an acrobat.
Look at that, Harold Wayne. That's a good one, too. Did you catch him all by yourself?
Caught him all by myself.
I can't believe that. And was he on that point?
He was there, wasn't he?
How did you know to do that, Harold?
Another fat fish.
Clay, how'd you know to do that? You've been watching my show.
I've been watching.
Harold, you've been watching my show. You've learned something, haven't you? Points are good. You feel kind of like that? Talk to me. You quit talking to me. You're nervous, Harold. I noticed that. You're kind of nervous about it.
Nervous? I don't get nervous on turkey.
You do, too. Don't you tell me a story. I saw you over there breathing hard. I hope you don't ever lose it.
Hey, you got a fish. Look what you have got. You done caught my fish.
Earl, I hope you don't ever lose it. That's not a bad one, is it?
Oh, that's pretty fish.
He's a keeper. You know, people,
what are you so nervous for?
Why? I hope I don't ever lose it. I don't get nervous on turkeys. I don't get nervous about anything, Earl. I could go through an IRS audit and not get nervous.
Oh, me.
Oh, me. There he is, still right there. You see him chasing the shad?
I see the fish right there. All right, roll a nail that. You ought to be on that little pond.
There he is. Good job, Harold.
Little fish.
It's all right.
Yeah, 2 pounds.
No, he ain't no 2 pounder. Look here, double up, Harold.
Look at here, double up. Ooh, look at there. Get that boy, man.
Bring him in here, Harold. Let's see who's the biggest. Mine's the biggest.
Hey, look at that.
Mine's the biggest. Look right here. I can't get him up
I guess
here.
you're going to tell people you caught that.
Here, take your fish off. I got mine. Here, get your fish. There's mine. I got a pretty good one here. Hey, you got a bat.
You need him.
No, Harold, this is your fish. I can't tell a lie. Show him to the camera and smile.
Oh, boy, ain't that a good... Get back in here, boy.
I can't tell a lie, Harold. There's something in me that won't let me do it.
Oh, yeah.
I felt sorry for you. I couldn't do that to you.
Not a bite in 4 hours.
I got another one. I'm Hank Parker. If you want deep sea fishing action, get Radica. Here, you bring him in.
He's taking a lot of line.
Radica, it's just like the real thing. Fish combo, Kona, Great Barrier Reef, marlin, sailfish, swordfish, they strike all the time.
I got an 800-pounder.
Game shakes when they strike. Find them with pump and reel action.
So who needs a boat?
Get deep sea fishing, another great game for Radica, maker of the original lunker and bass fishing.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 3,000 miles because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
You can feel it. The tournament-proven power of an American legend with zone-tempered fiberglass.
integrated cockpits, and patented hull designs, all performance engineered for the real rush hours. This is the high-performance power that dominates America's toughest tournament trails.
No other batteries get on board my boat because they're reliable.
I think I've been a little stubborn about AC Delco Voyager.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing, Hank. You have been stubborn. I'm kidding. Truth is, the AC Delco Voyager is reliable and durable.
I agree. It's the best all-around deep cycle battery I've ever seen.
Finally, Hank and Jimmy agree.
That spinnerbait of yours is something.
Yeah, that's the best.
I didn't say it was best.
What is better?
Mine.
Oh, man, the blades don't even matter.
Well, some things never change.
Oh, Hank.
It must rain 9 to 10 inches for every Laura Ashley peony to bloom. It must be perpetually misty for hedgerows to turn true green. It must be cloudy and damp for garden rose to flourish. Aren't you glad you don't have to live in England to enjoy the countryside? Laura Ashley Home, now only as far away as Lowe's.
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
And now back to Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine, America's favorite family outing.
Little bitty fish. A little bitty fish. Seen the days I'd kill to catch a fish like that. That's fine.
That's what you catch on spinnerbait.
Oh, man, I want to see it.
He weighed about 4 pounds. You didn't see him?
No, how big was he?
About 4.
Yeah, that's like that. And I caught this morning, you didn't get to see. He was about 4.5.
You see that fish hit, Hanky?
I didn't see that hair, Wayne. Had my eyes closed.
Well, good. Because I'm fixing to catch him.
You're going to have to quit hogging the back of the boat now. You're starting to get on my nerve.
You know that's a big fish, Rick. You let me have him, didn't you?
I knew that was going to be a giant whopper.
Look at here. I ain't gonna let mine get off like you did. I'm gonna catch him. Look here. I got me a little bigger one.
Yeah, you got a good one. You got a real good one.
Oh, man, look at that.
Can't believe you did that. Mine took and got away, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I wanted to catch him. He didn't want to stay
Look
on.
here.
How?
2 casts in a row.
If you don't quit hogging the back of the boat. You hear me? You know why I'm not catching those little guys like that?
Why?
I don't set the hook when they hit. Well, every time. Sometimes I do. I didn't mean to. He hooked himself. Comes out. Oh. It's a dangerous fish.
You're on my way, boy. I'm red hot now.
I noticed that, Harold. You get real nervous and serious when you go getting bites. Your facial expression change. You look like an old gobbler when he goes for it, you know, and his head starts changing colors. You kind of got an old gobbler characteristic or personality, I should say. There he is. There's a
Look over there. That was a fish I was going to catch, too.
He's cutting up, anybody? He is a happy fella. I think that's a big old fish, huh?
Well, that was the one I was going to catch. You hauled that one right out.
Well, he ate it, too. Pretty, isn't he?
Now, what? Tell me this. What is that on
That's
that
a
fish?
black spot. Look, he's got one on his lip. It's unusual, isn't it?
You see them in this lake a lot like
I know. You know what I've noticed, Harold? I'm going to tell you something that I hadn't told many people before. Lakes where you catch big, fat, chunky, healthy fish, I see them have black spots on them. Lakes like I live on, Lake Norman, where you catch little bitty, thin rail, no fat, no bait, no anything fish, you never see that on a fish. But lakes where you got big chubs, New York a lot, where you got big, fat, healthy fish, you see them have black spots on them. You know, with the water falling, Harold, there's been about 1,000 boats on the lake in last couple days. But with this water falling, it's like these fish are unmolested because you know these fish that's in these back bushes that you couldn't possibly get to before are going to move to these outside bushes, or you think they would, don't you?
I think the fish is spawning right now, too.
Having little ones? Being fruitful and multiplying? Talk to me, don't quit on me.
I'm trying to catch a fish.
Oh, my gosh.
I am the man that designed the 160. All these other people were just necessary evil. I'm teasing. I'm so proud. It's taken about 1.5 years for us to get it, and it's really worth waiting for. The Fish Finder 160 will help me catch fish because it's going to show me the bottom that I'm looking for. It's going to show me the structure that I'm looking for. It's going to show me the fish, and it's going to tell me the water temperature. The Fish Finder 160 is the very best unit for the money that there's ever been.
Boy, things sure look different when you're riding on Kelly Safari. See what I mean? Kelly tires. Get every mile you can out of life.
Brand new at the Home Depot, the Rigid Robo Grip 2. After selling 12 million of the world's first self-adjusting one-handed pliers, Rigid introduces the new 10-inch Robo Grip 2.
Now it's bigger,
Stronger
faster, and easier.
than ever before.
Oh, yeah.
Feels very strong.
It doesn't slip.
Now, with larger jaw capacity. Perfect for those big jobs, like sink traps and other large connections.
RoboGrip 2 generates 250% more torque for more gripping power where you need it most.
The hardened steel jaws automatically adjust to fit whatever you're working on.
Nuts and bolts, pipes and plumbing fixtures, knobs, valves, hanging hardware, and every kind of shape you can imagine. And the laminated steel construction is built extra tough for a lifetime of hard work.
Yeah, those things won't break.
I think I can go home and get rid of several different tools.
The RoboGrip 2, no toolbox is complete without it.
Call now to get your Rigid RoboGrip 2 for only $24.97 or find it at the Home Depot. RoboGrip 2, available in straight or V-notch jaw design, is backed by the Rigid lifetime warranty. Call now.
Yeah, show me the money, I'm telling you. Oh, boy. Come on. Whip him down.
It's the original school of hard knocks. Championship bull riding from Reno. Tonight at 9 Eastern and Pacific on TNN. Learn the hunting techniques that will make you a better hunter from the people who know. Join Dave Watson for a wide variety of hunting trips on Bushnell's Secrets of the Hunt. Saturday morning at 9 Eastern and Pacific on TNN Outdoors. You're watching TNN Outdoors.
Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine, celebrating our second decade in outdoor family entertainment.
You know, all them guys in the tournaments, they're always in a hurry and running and gunning. Then they want to catch a more big one, but look how long it takes to catch one of them. You just like to never wind them in.
Well, you go ahead and catch you some little ones. I'm after me one about like you did. What, that weigh about 2 pounds?
I think he'd go better than 3, Harold. I really do. I believe that fish weighed over 3 pounds. Don't you? He just went kind of like this. Look here.
Look at that. Done got another one. What have you got, Hanky?
Fish is excited about being on television. Did you notice how excited he was?
Look how fast.
He was jumping for joy. Look up where I got him.
I say you did set the
Does
hook.
that make you feel good?
When you set the hook like that there, he ain't gonna get off.
Mm-mm.
Well, now, did I tell you you was gonna catch one right here?
No, you said...
you lying.
I think you said you might as well get out of here, didn't you? And I said, no, Harold, please, let's stay and fish it. You'll let how it went.
Let him back where I can catch him one of these days.
I dropped him. I meant to keep him and have him mounted. That's the biggest one I've ever caught. After I talked you in the state.
Sure it's fun to catch him on a spinnerbait or something different every now and then.
Hey, I tell you what I like to do. I like to put that spinnerbait and that jig together, take that big flipping stick, you come to a little stretchy bank, you see the perfect little place in there to throw a spinnerbait, pick it up. That's the good part about fishing for fun and not fishing in a tournament or anything. You can just kind of pick it up and go and do it. If you want to put 2 or 3 rods out there at the same time, you can.
Yeah.
I like it. What a day. Oh, Harold told me he'd get a turkey to gobble before the day's over. Now, he blew that turkey call all day long, and just in Harold Knight fashion, he pulls it out in the 11th hour. You know, it's incredible. What a day. I mean, Barkley Lake is a thrill, and it's certainly a thrill to be able to catch fish in shallow water for me. Anytime I can do that, I love it. But there is nothing like spending the day on the water with a great friend like Harold Knight.
If your replacement windshield isn't installed properly, you could have a slight leaking problem. That's why you should go to the pros. PPG ProStars certified technicians. Whether you need your windshield repaired or replaced, they're professionals who do the job right the first time. For PPG ProStars certified technicians, call 1-800-PPG-7011. It must rain 9 to 10 inches for every Laura Ashley peony to bloom. It must be perpetually misty for hedgerows to turn true green. It must be cloudy and damp for garden rose to flourish. Aren't you glad you don't have to live in England to enjoy the countryside? Laura Ashley Home, now only as far away as Lowe's.
It's something for you. This is going to hurt me now. Pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Another pretty day, Andy.
I'm telling you what, it's
It ain't no better than here, turkey gobble.
It's wonderful.
And a bass hit.
That's great. And I hope you enjoyed the show today. Mark Better, Harold Knight. We do this about every 3 or 4 years. We're going to have to do it more often. Appreciate you doing that. God bless you. I'm Hank Parker. I'm by real quiet. We got a turkey gobble. We got a turkey. Bye, folks. Real quiet.
Hank's Show is brought to you in part by AC Delco Voyager batteries. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. Don't be sorry. Use America's strongest, Berkeley Tri-Lead. Garmin, the #1 name in GPS, has now gone fishing. Kelly Tires, a good deal on a great tire. Man's Bait Company, quality lures made in America. Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime. Quaker State, for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. Radica Fishing Games, you can feel the fish on the line. Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time. And by Abu Garcia, Berkeley Rods, Mercury Outboard, Must add hooks, plain old tackle systems, and Uncle Josh.
The house needs painting, the grass needs mowing. Where's he at? Gone fishing.
Oh, boy, look at him. Ain't that a hog?
That's a hog, yeah.
I'm afraid to catch him kind of turn my equipment up.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Anything else, Coach?
You felt like a little kid. I got to tell him when the barber goes up. Your barber's gone, honey. Jerk.
This is TNN Outdoors. TNN, America's country home, is a service of CBS Cable. The Buckmasters, next on TNN Outdoors. TNN, America's country home. You're watching TNN, America's country home.
See movies, new hit movies on the Star's $1 billion box office weekend. Tune in October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd to see the Star's free preview with Hollywood's hottest new hits like Armageddon.
This is as real as it gets.
The Water Boy, and 6 Days, 7 Nights. See new hit movies 100% free. October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd on the Star's $1 billion free preview. Join us as Disney on Ice celebrates 75 years of Disney magic, starring Mickey and all your favorite Disney friends. And for the first time ever, moments from Mulan, A Bug's Life, and The Lion King. Cox Cable wants all kids to save $2.50 on tickets to the Saturday, October 9th, 11 a.m. performance. Just show a copy of your current Cox Cable bill for your savings. Experience the biggest extravaganza ever on ice at Disney on Ice. Join the celebration at Hampton Coliseum, October 6th through 10th.
Hunter who likes his big game experience up close and personal, a bow hunt for black bear is just the ticket. Realtree team pros David Blanton and Michael Waddell host a bow hunting trip to Saskatchewan and air some sizable bruins on Bill Jordan's Realtree Outdoors. It's coming up later tonight. Right now, let's watch as a new world record Thule elk is taken with a muzzleloader on Buckmaster's Whitetail Magazine. It's next on the home of the experts, TNN Outdoors.
Welcome to the world of Buckmasters. Now here's your host, Jackie Bushman.
Hi, folks. Welcome to today's show. Got a great show for you today. We're going to be doing some big game hunting out west. We're doing some mule deer hunting and some elk hunting. And we take the world record Thule elk with the muzzleloader in California in this show. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
The Buckmasters Whitetail Magazine with Jackie Bushman is brought to you by